What up, everybody? Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. It is Monday, I think. Yeah, Monday, March 23rd. Don't we all lose sort of track of time in this situation? What's up, Jess Sampson? Good to see you. Welcome in. First comment of the day, second day in a row. Thanks for being here. I'm looking forward to Hot Breath Pod and a few other good friends that we've been seeing here on the regular. But if this is your first time tuning in, just make sure that you understand that this is daily, 8 a.m. here on YouTube. That's 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. And I'm here to serve you. I'm here to hopefully provide some regularity in your life. This also holds me accountable to staying up in the morning. And today's Monday, so it feels like it's the start of something new. Hopefully, we're going to start to hear some good news. I got my Disneyland sort of Starbucks cup here. What's up, my Catholic kids? Great to see you, Xenia and Vlada, another couple that we always see here. That's fantastic. Ursula, welcome in. Ellen in the house. Best part of my day. Good day, everyone. Thank you so much. Tariq, Maggie, Steve, Jeff, Rhino Dog. Quaranteam is a great name. This is thanks to John Pullum, who is the one on yesterday's chat, who sort of gave me the idea here. Thank you so much. Michelle in the house. What up? Alex in the house, too. That's fantastic. Speaking of Alex, I just have been diving a little bit more into VR lately. I have a set somewhere with me over here, a Quest, and I'm just getting excited about some of the news that I've been seeing about new games that are coming out, like Half-Life Alyx, as well as some stuff related to like haptic sensors. Have y'all ever seen Ready Player One? Ready Player One is a story about a guy who goes into like a virtual world called the Oasis, and they wear like haptics, full body suits, sort of like a wetsuit, but with like the ability to feel what's in VR. And I've been reading some reviews of different programs that have been doing that. It's been pretty neat. What's up, Doug? Good to see you. Kristen in the house. First time here. I want to give a shout out to you. Thanks so much for being here. You are awesome. Chris in the house too. Good to be back into the live stream. I was just catching up on the replays from the weekend. Sweet. These are really fun. So today we're going to go for about 50 minutes instead of an hour. My kids have a Zoom call, actually a live call with their classroom. And I just want to make sure they're all good and help support April a little bit during that time. So we're going to go for 50 minutes instead of 60 minutes. And today we are going to have some fun, just like we always do. Let's see. Tariq says, what inspired this live stream daily, Pat? Number one, with as crazy as things have been happening, I've just needed some regularity on my end, something that I can just sort of look forward to doing every single day. Plus, it helps me hold myself accountable to getting up in the morning. And if I didn't have this, I'd probably sleep in and not get things done. I'm always fired up after these live streams, even though I still get nervous, you guys. I still get nervous before recording a podcast, before getting on stages, before even doing live streams and webinars like this. But I always come out the other side with a lot more energy. And so I can take that energy, thanks to you and here, and put it into a lot of the work that I'm going to be doing for the day with the team and with the businesses that I'm running. In addition, I obviously know that I'm here to serve you and bring the community together. I have sort of a responsibility to do that, having this platform and having the ability to sort of engage with you. I think that that's going to help keep a lot of people sane during these times, and that's why I'm here. Corey says, speaking of Zoom, any alternatives? I'm using a tool called Squadcast, S-Q-U-A-D, Cast, and you can check that out. It's a competitor to Zencaster, like without the ER, just the R at the end. And it records locally on both sides. It allows you to download it. There's backups. It's a great tool. I'm actually an advisor for the company, just so you know. Andrea in the house. What's up, Andrea? Good to see you here. Thank you so much for being here. She's helping teens and kids better manage their screen time, while helping parents better manage screen time for kids and teens. And I would imagine that your information would be quite useful right now while everybody's at home, and likely it could be very simple to just hand over a device at this time to people. Thank you so much for the free books. Loving them. Thank you. So the free Kindle deal for my books, Let Go and Will It Fly, ended, unfortunately. And that's because Amazon, if you have paid books there, only allows you to do a 5-day free promotion, up to 5 days, every 90 days. So if this is still going on in 90 days, I'm going to make them free again. However, we will be working today to put the PDF files up there. So it won't be on your Kindle, but we'll have the PDF files for you to download it again, totally free. Speaking of VR pubs, bars, and restaurants could become more popular soon. Yeah, so virtual pubs and bars, not VR sort of parks. There are, at least here in the US, some malls that have some VR sort of like, they look like cubicles, but there's a VR station in each, and it's like an arcade, VR arcade, if you will. And unfortunately, they're suffering right now, and it's because, of course, nobody's going out to go and sort of rent an hour or two there to play some games. But secondly, if you think about it, I mean, you're putting on VR goggles that are then shared amongst people. So they're going to get hit pretty hard. There's one in particular that I'm a big fan of called The Void, which is really cool. It's sort of like a crossover between VR and AR. And what I mean by that is essentially you are in a virtual world, but you are also physically walking through a space, and the goggles map on a texture onto that space. So literally, if you see like a bench in VR, you literally walk over to the bench and you sit down. And in real life, it's just a gray bench with some dots on it. But in the game, it's like a old stone ruin bench next to the Stonehenge or something like that. It's kind of crazy. Common cash flow in the house. Let's see. Okay, let's get some questions. Apologize, I've been answering just sort of random stuff right now. Hot Pod Breath says, are you versed in YouTube copyright laws? I'm wanting to use B-roll of famous comedians for video essays, but I'm unsure about the legality without being demonetized or removed. Thanks. So luckily, if you were to make a mistake, you're not going to get in trouble per se, but you will potentially get demonetized or have, perhaps you could have your stuff taken down, but you likely won't get like sued. I'm not an attorney, I'm not a lawyer, so please this is my opinion and my own understanding. However, I think that there is something called fair use. If you look up Tim Schmoyer here on YouTube, Tim Schmoyer, fair use, SCHMOYER, he has a really great video about the use of B-roll for things like that. And for how long and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of great advice here on YouTube from people who are much more knowledgeable about that than I am related to fair use. And so it is possible to use, much like how a lot of people insert clips from movies and TV shows, but only a brief period of it, and then they can have a chat about it. Some companies are better than others, but in terms of allowing people to use their footage, for example, Tesla loves and allows creators here on YouTube to use a lot of their stuff for free without any worry of getting sued or anything like that, because they all, like, Tesla knows that that's their marketing channel, and that's helpful. And I think that's really cool. All right, let's see. Margaret says, thanks for this. I heard you were offering Will It Fly for free. How do I find that? I need to do a major pivot. So Will It Fly was free, or Let It Go. You've sort of combined two of my books there, Let Go and Will It Fly. So Let It Fly, that's cool. Maybe that should be my third book. Those are free at smartpassiveincome.com/toolkit. But like I said earlier, the books aren't free right now. Later today, they will be, because we'll pop the PDF files in there. But just know that they're not free because Kindle only allows for a 5-day free period. However, go there, smartpassiveincome.com/toolkit. You'll see a course called Smart from Scratch. That's the course that we normally offer to those who are reading Will It Fly later on. It is 100% free right now. We've given away over $300 and I think $15,000 worth of that course over the last 5 days. $315K, over $250,000 given away for free to you. So take it now. Take advantage of that. I want it to be there to help you. I want, after we all come out of this, for you to go, oh man, it was that course that Pat got me into. And I know it's going to come back to me in one way, shape, or form. So we're willing to give away that for free, even though it's a staple course of ours that we normally sell and have generated well over 6 figures for. So check that out, smartpassiveincome.com/toolkit. Martin says, favorite time of the day again, morning, Team Flynn, sunny day in Devon, UK, working on all your courses and making plans. That's awesome, Martin. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Andrea, by the way, is somebody who took that course and had started her own business as a result of that and has done pretty well. And that's awesome, Andrea. Thank you so much for being here and saying that. Question from Karma Cash Flow about rebranding a podcast. I had a podcast with my now ex-partner. He is no longer. Should I rebrand the podcast or start a whole new one? Typically, the answer is if you have full control of all the feeds, everything is a rebrand. And the purpose of that answer is because you already have this feed in existence. You already likely have subscribers. You can just kind of pick up where you left off with a new name, and you can just make an announcement about that and just keep going from there. Versus starting over from scratch on a second feed. Podcasts are very evergreen. So your work with your ex-partner there on the other show can still provide a lot of value to you and your new stuff. A rebrand is totally fine. You should get a list going of people who you have inspired and have taken the leap in 2020 during this unique situation to catch up with 1 to 5 years out and share stories. That'd be awesome, Chris. I think that will definitely happen. And luckily, those who have either read Will It Fly or who have taken the course Smart from Scratch will have direct access to and hopefully hear how things are going. What's going on, CJ? Good to see you, man. Dude, I've been watching your Instagrams about flipping and stuff. I watched with my boy, actually, your had a backflip video. And dude, you're getting so big. It's crazy. So CJ was somebody who I met a few years back at Vid Summit in LA. And he asked a question in front of a few thousand people to Gary Vaynerchuk. And Gary was like, dude, you guys got to follow this guy. And you had like 40,000 subs in like 3 days or something crazy like that. And I've seen you showing up, being consistent and getting better with your editing. So keep up the great work, man. Kids are growing fast. Restore Your Sparkle, Jamie Joe says, what do you recommend for keeping email lists engaged during this time? 2 things. Number one, at least making sure you're showing up at least once a week to let people know and remind people that you're there for them and that you still have likely potential content that they can get into that maybe they missed. You can rehash and find some stuff that maybe is in the archive that can be useful at this current moment in time. And number 2, if you have new content that's coming up that is helpful and relevant to the stuff that's happening in the world right now, then definitely send it to, via email and just let people know that you're there for them. I think more than anything, we just want to know that we're not alone in this. And I think transparency goes a long way right now. What's up, Sai? Good to see you. Marcos in the house again, too. What's up? Jamin says, thanks, Pat. You're offering so much value. I'm here to serve. Jimena says, hi, Pat. Lost my job a couple days ago. This virus, I have savings for 12 months. Is it possible to make a full-time living online in 12 months? It would be my new full-time job. It definitely is, although I can't predict what's going to happen with this virus in particular and how long it's going to go for and any of that stuff. And I don't say that to scare you, but I just say that to be honest about, well, we just don't have any idea about what's going to happen. But you can put in motion things into place now that could potentially help you in the future, whether it becomes a side thing, whether it becomes your full-time thing. I think acting and considering what the opportunities that are available to us now, projects that we perhaps wanted to start that just we didn't have time to start, we could start now. And considering, well, what does this make possible? That's the question I'm asking myself every single day, and I'm recommending people ask themselves too. What does this now make possible? And so I think that definitely it's something that can happen. It happened to me. It's happening to many people too, and people are in motion right now to do that. So, I'm sorry that you lost your job. I know exactly how that feels, and I empathize for you. But at the same time, looking back 12 years ago when I got laid off, I can also let you know, congratulations. This is an opportunity, definitely, and hopefully that fires you up. One thing that happened to me when I got laid off also is because I didn't have a plan B. And by the way, congratulations on having savings too to give yourself a buffer period, which is fantastic. But I remember, whoa, just like really loud rain outside right now. I remember that because I didn't have a plan B, because I was my back was up against a wall, I did things that I didn't think I would do. I was a shy, introverted person, and I stepped into the business world totally uneducated in that space, totally unaware of how it all worked. And it took a lot of bold action, getting outside of my comfort zone in order to see results. And I guarantee you, if I didn't get laid off, I wouldn't be where I am today, number one. And I also guarantee you that if I had a sort of fallback option, and let's say, for example, my parents were helping out, and they did help out a little bit. I was able to move back home with them because I was saving money for a wedding. But I guarantee you, if they were like, hey, Pat, don't worry, we'll pay your way all the way through until you get a new job, well, I would have relied on that and have probably gotten a new architecture job, as opposed to, okay, I really got this, fire lit up under me. I got to figure out how to make this work on my own. Ugh. Just Sampson says, my son, Makala, has a Zoom call with his class too. His Taekwondo via Zoom 3 days a week as well. Can't stop the train. Man, I was going to say, if you have any sort of money to invest in stocks right now, Zoom is definitely the one that is definitely, on the up and up of all the sort of technology stocks that are out there right now, right? Sleepy Bookworm says, question, you encouraged me, a woman of a certain age, to start a podcast. Could you please advise me on the best way to record a remote interview? So there's a number of different ways to do that. You could use Skype, you could use Zoom to do it. I would, however, look at tools also like Squadcast, which allows you to send the link to somebody. That person clicks the link, opens a box on their screen, and it's just through a web browser. And you'll be able to get into a room together to hit record, and then the audio records, and then it gives it back to you in an MP3 file that you could just literally drag and drop and put right into your editor there, from there. Marcus says, one question. Did you struggle while in your architecture career? I'm having a hard time right now at college. I struggled for various reasons. I struggled because I looked for better ways to do things, and my boss and my higher ups were just not open to those new processes. I came in sort of fresh out of school and saw how the architecture space was, and it was run in a very archaic way. And I saw new opportunities, and they didn't want to do them that way. And as a just regular drafter, it was very hard to have a say. It was also hard because I did a lot of hard work. I definitely stepped up and did my best to do good work for my office, and I hardly ever felt a thank you as a result of that. I never got thanked for the work that I did, and that's why when I got laid off and started my architecture exam business. I remember early on getting emails from people that said my name, like, Pat, thank you for this. Pat, I was able to pass this exam. Pat, thank you so much. I'm going to share you with my office. Like, they were calling me by name and saying thank you more than my own boss was for the work that I was doing a lot harder and a lot more hours. And that being said, it wasn't like I just set up a business one day and then started making money. I mean, I was working 12, 14 hours a day, getting my notes up on that website and focused on how to get higher rankings and focused on interacting with people in forums so that I would start to make a name for myself. And eventually things started to happen. Grace says, do you think a vast majority of people still view language learning as a priority? I've heard people say technology is replacing the need of learning a new language. On one hand, I can definitely see that. However, there is something to be said for just, what happens when you learn something in sort of a more fluent manner and can have a direct conversation without the technology. I would also imagine that people are worried about the fact that technology is there because, people consider, well, there's always somebody listening on the other end sometimes. So I don't think that ever there will be a time when we're just relying 100% on technology. But I do think language learning is still obviously an important thing. And sometimes people prefer to learn from coaches versus software. So I think there's definitely opportunity there. A good friend, Benny Lewis, a good friend of mine named Benny Lewis, teaches a number of courses on Teachable about language. I personally want to learn Mandarin. Kristen says, remember your niche site duels? That's how I first found you. Following you ever since. That's so awesome. Thank you so much for that. Let's see. How do you categorize which goes paid versus free for YouTube videos? Can it be that courses is step-by-step while YouTube videos are more tips and strategies? That's one way to do it. I mean, personally, I like to give it all away for free as much as I can on YouTube. But just the nature of YouTube wanting to be, 10 to 12 minute videos. And when you're teaching, you could still teach the steps, but there's no way that you could possibly teach everything in the videos, especially in a series of videos in a convenient manner. Plus, there is skin in the game when people pay for things. So there's that added accountability. There's the idea that you're going to be hand-holding them across the way, email follow-up sequence or office hours or other ways and bonuses and such that make the paid content worth it. And to go back to my architecture exam website, that product that I created, which was an ebook study guide, was 90% the same stuff that was on the website, like legit, like word for word the same. Yet people still paid for it. They still loved it because it was convenient. And I think that's part of the process of what people pay for is they pay for the convenience. They're saving time. There is an added level of value when it is something that's packaged. And although some of it might be for free, that's totally okay. They'll have perhaps seen it and can know that they've already seen those things and can skip over it and get through the course and get to the result much faster. Sometimes people do the sort of how in the courses, but the what and the why in it for free. So some people do it that way too. Barbara says, what are tools that allow me to stream on YouTube and Facebook simultaneously? Check out Restream. Restream is one, and Luma. What is it? Lu something or other? Luma. Gosh, what is it? I thought hold on one sec. I'm trying to remember what that application was. Luma? Lula? Jeez, what is it? Hold on. I used it the other day, but I never know how to. Loola, LOOLA.tv. That could potentially get you on different platforms at the same time. So you could stream from one place and go to many places. So LOOLA.tv. Desmond, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate your super chat. So that's $9.99. Hey, Pat, love you, man. Love you too, Desmond. That money, any money that comes in through super chats here, I'm putting together and once a week sending information out to different charities and things that need it at this moment in time. So thank you for that. I appreciate that, Desmond. You're amazing. Hi, Pat, your student here. What's up, Patricia? Great to see you. Thank you so much. Let's see. CJ says, how do you stay motivated to staying in one niche? Because I want to show all my interest with being in one or two niches. So this is a great question because, we all are entrepreneurs here. We want to scratch that itch. It could feel very sort of enclosed to just go, okay, I'm going to focus on this one thing and that's all I'm going to do. So I do something called the 20% itch rule. And that means I have 80% of my time about the thing that I'm sort of all in on and want to be known for. And I allow myself 20% of my time to experiment, to have fun, to try new things, to experiment, knowing that, hey, that could completely fail. Now, you're a little too young for this, but if you go to a casino ever, the recommended strategy, and I'm not giving casino strategies, I just know that this is the proper way to manage your money when you go to a casino, for example. You have a number of dollars that you are willing to lose, that you just know is sort of entertainment money, such that if you were to lose that, then, hey, you still had fun, right? Versus, having that ATM card with you and going back to the ATM machine every time you lose money, and then all of a sudden your house is gone. We don't want that. You have a finite amount of money that you bring that you can play with. And then if you happen to win, awesome. If you happen to lose, still awesome. That's what you expected. And any sort of winnings is bonus. Same thing with your time. This 20% itch rule, the 20% of your time, and if you divide that 5 days a week, that's just 1 day a week that you're dedicating to experimentation, to trying, to knowing that, hey, you could experiment with this new platform or this new interest or what have you, and it might completely fail, but it's always going to be a learning lesson, by the way. And so it is actually never a failure because you're learning as you go, you're taking new experiences and putting them forward into the next thing. But in many cases, that 20% thing can become the new thing, and it can become something big. And a good example of this recently is the 20% itch rule was used in my life with the SwitchPod, as you know, is a tripod that me and my videographer invented. And that was something that was used in my sort of spare time. And that way you have the ability to allow that for that freedom to focus and to scratch that other itch, whilst still being able to take care of that other thing too. And if it could be in a completely different space too, and that's totally fine. Woohoo, it's that time of day again. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Aromatic Wisdom Institute says, downloaded the Fusebox transcript plugin. Need a tutorial customer service tech to help me working on my website. Suggestions. Reach out to support@fusebox.fm and we'll help you out for sure. Patricia says, I was gifted the Blue Yeti. Sorry, my bad. So I was gifted the Blue Yeti microphone. What do you think about that for podcasts? And what else would I need? So number one, you can totally start a podcast with the Blue Yeti. However, I typically don't recommend that microphone. If that's all you have access to and you don't want to invest in anything else right now, that's totally fine. You can still get it up and running, but it doesn't provide the best sound quality for a podcast specifically. It's a great live streaming microphone because you have the mic on your desk, for example, and you can have it out of the way of your face. However, it does pick up more room noise. It is something that makes you sound a little bit more tinny in a room that's not fully sort of audio and acoustically sound. So that's the reason why I don't typically prefer the Blue Yeti, although it does work and it's fine and it's easy. You plug in via USB and that's it. I typically recommend the Samson Q2U or the ATR 2100 or ATR 2100X. I have a video on the YouTube channel that covers and reviews each of those microphones. By the way, new video coming out today around 11 or 12, so in a few hours, so Pacific time. And it's 5 things that you can do right now to lean into your business during quarantine. So if you're a quarantined entrepreneur, you're working from home, 5 things that you can do to lean in, that you should be leaning into right now in your business. So look out for that. If you can, when you see the notification for that, by the way, if you're here on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification icon so that you can make sure that you get notified when new videos come out. You can personalize it, I think, so that you can get all the notifications or just a few. So it's totally up to you. But a new video is coming out. If you could do me a favor, since I'm going live every day, if you could just do me a quick favor. When I do have videos pop up, if you can go in there, give it a thumbs up, comment, and do that sort of thing, that would be really, really amazing. That's all I would ask in return. Quaranteam, #Quaranteam. And again, big shout out to John Pullen for giving me that idea for the name yesterday. Adobe is shifting their summit to a live cast March 31st, 8 a.m., and it's free, not connected to Adobe, but just supporting the company. Are you sure you're not connected to Adobe? You've been talking about some amazing things that are always coming from them. Just Samson. I'm just kidding, but thank you for that. So Adobe March 31st live cast. That's great. Michael says, hey, Pat, how's it going? I signed up for your business course. A big help. Thanks. Hey, my pleasure. That's why I'm here. Pat, you're the best. Thanks for all the resources and advice you provide for free. I wish more content producers were like you. I'm just trying to show up and set an example for you, set an example to others. Hopefully, I know that I've inspired some other people to go live and help out during this time and lean into content creation a little bit more. And I want to be an example to my kids. So every morning they see me, I go, hey guys, I'm going to be doing a live stream. I'm helping people out during this time because, as we all know, in times of crisis, it's the helpers. There's going to be helpers that show up, and those are the people that get remembered, that get thanked. And I want to be an example to the kids. I don't want to retreat. I don't want to show them that this is a time of, even though it's a time of crisis, that I'm worried. I am worried. However, I do want to show up and show others how we can be a good example during this time. Let's see. Deacon says, what's up, Deacon? I have a G85 and want to start streaming to YouTube and Facebook at the same time. I'm the host and doing everything by myself. So I talked about Restream or Looma, L-O-O-L, or L-O-O-M-A, I think. Gosh, I can't even remember. My bad. But yeah, I think I talked about those already. What's up, John Lee Dumas in the house? What's up, John? Good to see you. Thanks for being here, my friend. Hope all is well in the PR. That's Puerto Rico, and you and your family are doing okay during this crisis. And hopefully you and your team are doing well too, leaning into content creation like I know you can. You're amazing, John. Appreciate you being here. Big shout out to John, by the way. I got to give him a lot of praise and thank you. By the way, John at Entrepreneurs on Fire. Definitely subscribe to his podcast if you haven't already. I just want to say thank you, my friend, because I'm remembering a chat that we had in 2014 about how you manage your team and how you get them to help support you in your podcast. And it was you that gave me the idea to do Ask Pat 5 days a week during that time. And I didn't even think it was possible. So thank you for that, my friend. I appreciate you. Let's see, my opinion on dropshipping. I mean, this is a opportunity that is can be good right now because you don't have to ever touch you don't ever have to touch the inventory. However, it depends on the industry, right? There's a lot of supply chains that have been affected with what's been happening right now, and a lot of times without you having that control over the process, and with like 4 or 5 levels up from manufacturer to shipping to fulfillment and et cetera, it can be difficult in this kind of time. So I would say if you do drop shipping, make sure you have contacts with reliable supply chain members and just kind of are understanding this sort of way people are going in and out of that. Corey, what's up, Corey? Figured out my deal. Film upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You were the man. Seriously, you really are. Thanks, Corey. Keep up the great work. The Glass Child says, I'm a songwriter from Sweden, and it's thanks to finding your podcast 8 years ago. Wow. That I've managed to build a career in music and accompanying books of essays from the road. I'm forever thankful. Wow. Congrats. That's amazing. I have a lifelong goal of one day writing my own song that I hear on the radio. That would be amazing. I don't know what the song would be or what it would sound like. I don't know. Just trying to get inspiration. Yeah, it's gonna be difficult. I need some help. Maybe you can help me one day. Dustin says, hey, Pat, thanks for doing this. It has inspired me to add a morning session to each day for our remote adventure conference this week, going live in an hour. Awesome, Dustin. Well, don't let me hold you here. Go and get ready and prepare and get fired up. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Nick says, hey, this is pretty cool. Loving the live streams. How are you dealing with this whole thing? I am trying to stay optimistic. I'm asking myself, what does this make possible? I'm trying to show up and help others, and that's keeping me busy for sure, because when I do have downtime and I do go online and I do see the news, I do get some anxiety, and I have a few sort of moments that I have to like suppress a little bit, and I understand how a lot of people feel too, which makes it even worse because I went through the same thing in 2008 for different reasons, obviously, but I just want to, it's hard because I want to help everybody too. And there's some people that I just can't help right now, but I'm trying to show up in whichever way I can. And family and I are doing okay. The team's doing okay. Just the unknowns of what's going on is what's the big struggle is. Just how long is this going to go for? Also, I'll be sending an email later this week about FlynnCon. FlynnCon is definitely going to be canceled, and then offering refunds to those people. But I'm getting held hostage by essentially the hotel that's still requiring payments, including a $79,000 payment in April. that, it's just going to be impossible to put on an event, but they are still requiring it because it's in the contract. So we're working out something with that right now. Just kind of, that's providing some anxiety as well. But I also know that there's a lot of people who are in a much worse position. So I'm not trying to get upset about it. Alexandra says, tips on doing Instagram lives. I really want to feel like I have nothing. I really want to, but feel like I have nothing to say. I own a sugaring, hair removal salon, waxing. Well, why don't you go live and do tutorials? Why don't you go live and teach something? I think that could help guide sort of what the lives might be. They don't have to be very long like this one. They can just be sort of tutorials that could then sort of be posts in your story that people can see and get and look forward to for the next time. It's just going to take practice. And honestly, what's the worst that can happen, really? Like that I think you should go live and have some fun. If you don't know what to say, great. You're like everybody else who goes live. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what the questions are. And I'm an introvert. And I think that it's just guided in a conversation that we're having just like right now. And you can just imagine there's a person on the other end or people on the other end, even if it's just one person. Again, like just imagine you're having a conversation with them and teaching them. And I think that would be great. Let's see. Olapat, I served Greater LA as a barber for 32 years. Feedback on your beard. It gives contrast and contour. It offers you some ruggedness and a bunny hop to okay. You're awesome. So are there any tips? Is there like stuff I could do better? Like I like the beard. I think it's to your lunar baby face. I don't know the words that you're saying, but I like it. I think. I just appreciate you. If you could give me some advice, any of you on beard. I've never grown a beard before, but I have been enjoying it. Also because it takes less time to manage. I watched a video the other day without a beard, and I was like, who's that guy? Who's that baby? Andrew says, Pat, your live streams look so clear and vibrant. What camera do you use for your live streams? I'm using a Canon EOS R. This is a DSLR camera, a little bit higher end, plugged into a Blackmagic web presenter, plugged into my computer via USB, and that's why it is going on that way. But thank you. Yeah, definitely higher end, and it's stuff that was in my studio at WeWork, brought home so that I can do this. Let's see. Is my Mac charging today? Yes, it is. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Because last time I didn't know it was something that was not being charged because I have so many, every USB, I have 4 USB-C things plugged in to my computer, and it said that it was charging, but it wasn't, and that's my bad. Let's see. I've been furloughed as of last Thursday. This may be a great opportunity for me to dive headfirst into trying to grow my online business. I'm going to take this as a blessing in disguise. That's the exact right way to think about it. There are things that we just can't control. We can't go back into time. We can't take a DeLorean and change things right now, but we can change the story that we're creating for ourselves in the future. This is an opportunity for many people, and I know that. I can speak from experience. This happened to me in 2008. I got laid off, didn't like it, felt depressed, was very upset at a lot of people, a lot of things, and it wasn't until I saw it as an opportunity and I saw that I did have some things that I still could control, that things really started to happen. So congratulations to you, and I wish you all the best for sure. Gary, morning, Pat. What's your recommendation for a simple live stream setup using a Sony A7 Mark III or a DSLR? So if you're going to go live, you need some way to connect that DSLR or camera to your computer via USB. So I'm using the Blackmagic web presenter, which is a little bit higher end, and I think there are ways. Let's see how to connect DSLR to a computer HDMI converter. That's essentially what you want. You want like an HDMI converter. So there might be some opportunities to do this much more cheaply. And I'm looking for how to use DSLR. Yeah. I'm not going to go into it right now to do some research, but I would imagine there are a lot of tools. If you have any tool recommendations for Gary, put them in the chat. And I do know they exist, and they're much cheaper than what I have. I know some things that look like sort of USB thumb drives that have an HDMI connection in there, and you could try that out. So I'm not exactly sure, but I think there's a lot of different options out there. Let's see. Steve says, I use your YouTube videos to teach myself how to do a paintball podcast, and it's starting to explode. Thank you so much. Congrats, Steve. Well done. That wow anime is for you. I'm going to keep that up there for like congratulations for people. I would never have guessed you were an introvert after seeing you at FlynnCon. Thank you, Matthew. I am definitely an introvert. things like that suck my energy so much away from me. My way of my definition of, or the way that I know whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, is if you are around people and people suck the energy out of you, that's not a bad thing. It's just that it takes effort, time, it drains you, then you're an introvert likely, and that was me. And so recharging means going into my hotel room, locking myself in there and watching Netflix, and that's how I recharge, versus extroverts who are craving that because that's how they get energy. That's recharging for them, is getting with people. And so I hope that if you're an extrovert during this time, you are finding ways to still connect with people, because I know how important that is to you. Let's see. I made more progress on my course yesterday after your show than I have in months. Thanks for the inspiration. You're awesome. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. Or one last question. Pat, is there some way I can contact you for some longer questions I have? There are ways to reach out to me. If you reach out to me, DM, Instagram, Twitter, you're more likely to get through versus email. I can't guarantee it either. There's a lot of people hitting me up for help right now, and I'm trying my best to get through to everybody. But at Pat Flynn on Instagram or Twitter, you might be able to see me there. Let's see. Desmond says, "Hey Pat, now I know I'm a millennial because I don't want to get a job. I just want to start a business, but I only have had 3 jobs in my whole life, and I finished high school, but I didn't learn anything." The best way to learn, Desmond, is to take action on something, to just put yourself out there, try new things, and to learn. That's your learning experience. That's your new school. Trying something and making it go forward. I would recommend checking out my course, Smart from Scratch, which you can find at smartpassiveincome.com/toolkit. It's 100% free right now, and it's something that'll give you a little bit of a structure, actually a lot of structure. I was going to say, it is my paid course that I'm giving away for free right now, but it is something that you are able to take advantage of right now and make happen. So it'll give you a process of understanding, okay, well, where might you be able to get into in terms of a niche to be able to start a business and whatnot. Okay. Thank you, Pat. I don't know why, but it makes me smile to hear you say "a woman of a certain age," says Sleepy Bookworm. I'll leave that up to everybody to interpret, but thank you. I appreciate you. Zenu says, "Are you still sketching sometimes, Pat?" Not as much as I want to. What I am doing in terms of sketching is using the iPad to start to try to how to integrate it into some of my videos. If you saw my work from home video, you might have noticed that I did some like writing to show the different topics within that video. I'm using a video from Levi Allen that was really great. If you want to check that out, actually, let me go to the computer view. I'll show you. By the way, this is the new video that's coming out soon. Oh no, not that video. This video, Quarantine Entrepreneur, 5 things to lean into right now for your online business. But what I was going to say, so that's coming out in a couple hours. So just look out for that. When it comes out, I mean, hit subscribe right now. Hit the bell notification icon. When that video comes out, if you can hook me up with some good velocity right at the start, that'd be really great. Levi Allen iPad hack. So this is what I used for specifically how to take
the draw on.
You can draw on an iPad, and then like that, and then you can put it into your videos. Like, let's see. Kind of like that. So that's Levi Allen iPad hack, and that's been a really helpful thing that I've been trying to experiment with right now. Pat, I saw that Teachable was purchased by another company. Thoughts on how that might affect our online courses? It's only going to help. This company that they purchased, or that purchased Teachable, is an online course company that is big in Brazil and some other countries, and they want to tap into the US market. So they're going to put even more resources. I mean, this is millions of dollars put into and injecting into the service that's going to enable for even better options for things to move faster. So I think it's only great things. I'm also want to say congratulations to the Teachable team. I'm an advisor for the company, which means I own a little bit of a share and or some shares of the company. So, you know, everybody is definitely happy about that situation right now. And I think it's a great opportunity for Teachable too. Hey, Pat, when launching a new course, how do you determine the price? A number of different ways. Number one, you want to understand, well, what is the exact value that people get out of this and how it might directly help them. In some niches, it's a lot easier than others to determine, okay, if a person learns this new skill, for example, what might it open up for them in their own career, for example. Another way to look at it would be to see what the competitors are pricing their course at and how your course might differ so that you can sort of share and show and create a juxtaposition between what you're offering versus what they're offering. By the way, I'm going to go for 10 more minutes here, guys. This is just my favorite time in the morning right now. Thank you. It's hopefully something that you could look forward to every morning as well. If you're not in the know that every morning, 8 a.m. here on YouTube, just going live to help you out, answer questions, sort of like office hours, but every single day to help encourage you, to help give you something normal to look forward to continue to answer this question about pricing. I would recommend, if you were going to create a course, try to create the best version of that information that's out there and charge a higher premium. And a lot of people push back on that and they say, no, Pat, I want as many people to take this course as possible. And yes, I understand that. However, if you were to go to a furniture store, a beautiful antique furniture store with thousands of dollars per item, and you looked and you saw this beautiful chair that you want to take home, but it's only $12, what are you going to think? You're likely going to assume that, well, there's something absolutely wrong with this, or it's haunted or something. You're going to sit in it and then go into like some, vortex of some kind. And it's going to cause trouble for you or whatever. Pricing does reflect the value of the course before a person even gets in. And I am on the same camp as Ramit Sethi. Charge a premium. You want to play in the higher level sandbox because you attract higher level customers. You attract people who actually do the work in the course because they have more skin in the game. And in addition to that, you can make just as much money, but serve less people or make even more money, right? And you can provide a better experience for fewer people in there and make even more. So that's what I would recommend. Desmond says, I want great things, but I feel like I'm not smart enough and I have reading disability that slowed me down. I'm 29, I don't have much in life to grow and I'm stuck. Well, do know that you don't have to be an quote unquote, an expert or a PhD or have some degree in anything in order to teach that. In fact, a lot of people prefer to learn from people who are just like them, who are just a couple steps ahead. They're more relatable. They are absolutely more relatable. And you can be one of those people who could step up and help people in a certain space that is more relatable because you're even going through it with them. There was a friend of mine, his name's Adam Baker, just to give you an example. He started a website called Man vs. Debt. He was severely in debt, yet started a website to track his journey. This is called the sort of journaling sort of teaching way. And he tracked his journey getting out of debt, which he eventually did. But even while he was still in debt, he amassed a huge following because people really loved his style, him showing up. It was a lot easier to learn from him than somebody who was sort of at a financial institute, for example. And even though he was still in debt during that process, he still was seen as an authority. It might seem weird to go, wow, why would people go to Adam to learn how to be in debt? He is massively in debt, but yet he's still able to attract this audience because he's sharing his progress. He's being open and vulnerable. And I think that you could potentially use this disadvantage you have to share and to accumulate an amazing tribe of people who know you for you, who might relate to you because of that. And I think people want to do business with other people. All right, Pat, time for something fun. Play your trumpet for up to 10 seconds, a scale or short melody. Well, my trumpet's way up there, and I'm not going to be able to do that right now, unfortunately. Plus, I don't want to wake anybody up in case anybody's still asleep in the house, and I haven't warmed up yet. So one of these days, Chris, maybe in the afternoon, I'll bust my trumpet out, but I don't want to make some noise if people aren't expecting it in the house, but I appreciate that. Just Samson says, would you mind listing all the apps and services that you use for your business, like Ecamm, Fusebox, Squadcast, etc.? Thanks, Pat. Wow, there's way too many to mention. I would just say, my top 3, for example, my calendar, the number 1 most important thing. Number 2, we use Monday.com for project management within my team. Slack essential is an essential. Dropbox as well, and Google Drive. I mean, that's essentially the sort of must-haves for sure. Monday.com is the sort of outlier there. We used to use Trello as well as Airtable for sort of managing projects and helping the team understand what works with who and what. CoSchedule is another one because we have a WordPress blog. Let's see. Wow, there's a lot of stuff. Gary says, legend. Thanks, Pat. I'll research that. Would love to see a YouTube video on your live stream setup. Really appreciate all the free content these days. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Ardash says, Pat, I'm from India. Excuse me. Thanks for being here. Worldwide audience. That's what we're talking about. Thanks for educating us now as a Node.js developer on how to start an online business. Educate us on how to start an online business. Yeah, I mean, if you're an educator, start creating content, start building that audience, build that email list, and then start engaging with that email list to ask, well, what do you need help with specifically? What tutorials you want me to create? And then create those tutorials and try to make them snappy, try to make them great. People are looking for information right now about especially how to grow their careers or expand their careers or start new careers. So this could be a great opportunity for you to kind of show up and create that. Jonathan says, reading Let Go, and Pat has a lot of great insights about the process of transitioning from being let go to Let's Go live on YouTube every day. Thank you, Jonathan. So yeah, my book Let Go is about when I got laid off in 2008, how I transitioned out of that into entrepreneurship. And it's called Let Go because yes, I was let go from my job, but also in order to grow into this new space, I had to let go of who I thought I was supposed to be or what I was taught to be in order to fully engage with and participate in this next space. Xenia says, please never end the live stream. It really helps me stay motivated every day after the stream. I'm so much in a flow and run to create content. Thank you. This is exactly why I want to do this. Aromatic says, Pat, breathe. And I can't because we got a few more minutes here. I want to help as many people as I can. I apologize. I have to end a little bit early today. In about 3 minutes, I got to go help get the kids set up for their Zoom calls with their classrooms. There's the breath. But thank you, Xenia. I appreciate it. This is going to continue every single day until this thing ends. And even beyond that, I've been getting a lot of people say, please don't ever stop this. So you're not the first to say that. And I appreciate you. I hope that, this would be cool if this was sort of a daily thing. I'd love to, right now it's paying me back in ways of showing up and being there for you. It's paying me back with a couple of the super chats that have come in. Thank you, Desmond, and a few others who have done that in the past as well. Just let me make sure I didn't miss any other super chats in here. I do see one super chat. Dominique, what's up? Hi, how do you go about pruning your list? Thanks. So I want to answer your question too, because you've helped me out with the super chat, and all those get donated to charities here in San Diego. So don't worry about that. But eventually I'd love to, do this live stream, and maybe, one day I'll have thousands of people watch every morning. And then in which case I could get it sponsored and have other people come in as guests and turn it into a daily radio show to help you in your business. Woo. Let's see. Wow. So many questions. I feel like the one thing that upsets me, is I'm unable to help everybody. So first of all, I'm going to answer Dominique's question here. How do you go about pruning your list? So every 3 months, every 6 months, I go in and I offer sort of a last chance sequence to help people go, okay, if you aren't going to engage, if you aren't going to interact, or if you don't want to be here anymore, like, I'm going to kick you out of the list. I think pruning your list is really, really important. You can get to better numbers for click-through rates, for open rates, and those sorts of things. And I, excuse me, and I think that's really key. Lit and More, $3. Starting a new podcast, Rodecaster Pro, worth it. If you have the investment money, absolutely. It's just plug and play, easy, a lot of options there. Plus the cool sound effects. And that's really amazing. So I think that's great. But yeah, pruning your list, look up ConvertKit, Pruning Your List. They have some really great content about pruning your list. I think it's really important. Let's see. And then Luke here says, no, you're about to scroll to my question. Sad. I don't want you to leave here sad. So I'm going to scroll up to your question now and try to find it, Luke, for you. Or if you can ask it again, that'd be great. And you'll be the last question that I answer today. I do have a Facebook group, smartpassiveincome.com/community. Where's Luke? Luke. Okay, I need some music while I find this. Hold on. Luke, where are you at? Money. Again, you're crazy, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for the super chat. That means the world to me. Here we go. Luke, Gary Vee said your niche could be yourself. Is it a bad idea to create content and make videos, produce podcast blogs on various topics and not niche down? P.S. Working as a firefighter in Canada, crazy. So yeah, I think that I understand, like, Gary's totally right? Gary is known for Gary, but I think that in addition to sort of showing up for you, I think it's important for you to be known for something. The problem when you sort of try to create a business or a brand around all the things about yourself is that, well, some people are going to like you for this part of you, but maybe not that part, or that other part of you is not going to really resonate. So I think it's really important to, yes, if you're going to create a personal brand, like, what is it that you want to become known for? How do you want people, Luke, to say, like, oh, you got to check out Luke because XYZ. They're not going to say, oh, well, he does 12 different things. Well, a person's not going to be attracted to that. Oh, you got to check out Luke. He's a firefighter. He talks about things like gaming and education and being a firefighter in Canada. But he's just known as being like all things Canada. And I think that's why I really resonate with him, because he just injects Canadian love into every single thing he does. He has this accent. I don't know if you do, but I think that you need to have some sort of thing that you can become known for, a stance on a topic, for example, or maybe there is some sort of theme related to all these things that people can get behind. So yes, you might be able to discuss different topics, but I think as long as there's sort of either a unique style about you or a theme to go along with it, then there's like something shareable. So I think that's really important. Hopefully that helps. And it's going to take some time. You're going to have to post, you're going to have to share, you're going to have to see what works, see what doesn't, and you might not know what that answer is. So it's going to take some time for you to create a brand behind yourself for sure. And for example, like a lot of people, yes, my brand is Smart Passive Income, but I've become the brand essentially. People have become attracted to the fact that I'm the family man in the business space that talks about it. My Lamborghini is a 2012 Toyota Sienna, and no, I don't have the Tesla Model X anymore, by the way. But I don't live in a huge mansion. I don't travel and have laptops at the beach. Like, I'm the family man, and I work at home, and I try to make sure that I can manage business and family life, and that's what a lot of people know me for. A lot of people know me for my geeky personality, and that becomes something that's unique in the business space too. So I think that's really important. Whew. Okay. Thank you. So I'm going to go because I got to help out with the kids and make sure they're all good to go. But hey, I want to thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming in today. When the video gets published a little bit later, that is about the 5 things you can lean into as a business owner. If you hit subscribe now and hit that bell notification icon, do me a favor, quickly thumbs up, like, and comment on that video when it comes out later today in a few hours. That'd be super helpful for me. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. The lease was over, so I'm just waiting for the Tesla Model Y right now, but they aren't manufacturing them right now because the Fremont factory is closed, so who knows what happens. But anyway, thank you so much, and to echo Ellen, have a great day, everyone. Love, hit that like button, and be safe, stay cool. Thanks so much. Appreciate you. Take care. Love you. Team Flynn for the win. All the best, and I'll see you tomorrow, 8 a.m.